Deep in the brush, a honey badger is entirely focused on a patch of dirt, sniffing the ground and hunting for food. Its head is lowered, its guard is down, and it is completely unaware of its immediate surroundings. Slipping quietly over the rocks right behind it is a black mamba. The snake is a silent, stealthy predator, closing the distance on its target without making a single sound. In a fraction of a second, the mamba strikes. Its fangs pierce directly into the flesh of the badger's hindquarters. A sharp jolt of pain shoots through the mammal. The badger jumps back in shock, scrambling away from the source of the sudden agony. The badger spins around to identify its attacker. The moment it recognizes the dark figure of the snake, the initial panic instantly dissolves into absolute rage. The strike was absolute. One of nature's most efficient killers has successfully delivered a lethal payload to an unsuspecting target. This visualization shows exactly what happens inside the badger's body. The mamba's highly concentrated venom rapidly spreads and branches out through the circulatory system, quickly overpowering the animal's physical control. The motor functions fail sequentially. First, the badger's legs weaken, buckling underneath its weight. It collapses to the dirt, rolling involuntarily as violent tremors rack its entire body. Then the shaking stops. The badger lies completely motionless and unconscious on the soil. 2 full hours pass. The small, still figure hasn't taken a single step or twitched a muscle. By all visible metrics, it is dead, and in any standard biological context, it should be. The venom load delivered by a black mamba guarantees a swift death for nearly any mammal in this ecosystem. Suddenly, the dirt stirs. The supposedly dead badger abruptly jumps to its feet. It is highly disoriented, violently shaking its head and blinking rapidly, struggling to clear the residual fog of the neurotoxin, like it's waking up from a severe hangover. Its memory of the past 2 hours is a blank, but it perfectly recalls the sharp bite on its hindquarters and the dark, slithering figure that put it there. This honey badger is now on a mission. It puts its nose to the ground and methodically tracks the snake's scent, covering several kilometers of rugged terrain without stopping. The badger eventually locates the mamba, coiled comfortably inside its den. Without a sound, the badger's eyes lock onto its target with immediate, wordless fury. This survival contradicts the basic laws of the savanna. A lethal dose of venom designed to completely stop a heart has somehow left this animal energized and capable of hunting. The amount of venom injected during that initial ambush is highly concentrated, enough to kill 20 human adults. The honey badger survives this because of a highly specialized evolutionary defense mechanism. It operates like a triple antitoxic plug-in. First, a genetic mutation blocks mamba neurotoxins, bouncing them off the nervous system harmlessly. Second, its exceptionally thick, rubbery skin restricts deep fang penetration. Third, a hypermetabolic liver rapidly filters remaining toxins from the bloodstream. This biology dictates a strict timeline. The badger knows the venom will eventually force it back into a deep sleep, so it must kill the snake quickly before it passes out again. The badger's internal defenses subvert the entire food chain. What is a highly lethal neurotoxin for the rest of the animal kingdom is reduced to a temporary sleep aid for the honey badger. There is no hesitation. The badger launches a direct, brutal, and immediate attack into the den. With a single decisive bite, the African god of death is physically subjugated. The snake goes completely limp, entirely neutralized. The badger casually takes its kill in its jaws and walks away from the den, never once looking back. This swift victory is secured by superior evolutionary engineering rather than combat skill alone. A few minutes later, a secondary scavenger arrives at the scene. An African wild dog, similar to the one shown here, wanders over the remnants of the battle. The dog spots a discarded portion of the dead snake. Excitement takes over as it picks up the carcass, thrilled to find a free, effortless meal. The dog takes less than 10 steps before its legs simply give out underneath it. A catastrophic physical failure sets in instantly from the residual venom in the snake's body. It hits the ground hard. Within seconds, the dog stops breathing completely. In its final moments, the dog is left confused, wholly unable to comprehend the invisible chemical force that just shut down its organs. The rules of mortality in this ecosystem still govern every other animal perfectly. The honey badger is simply the biological exception.